It's a story of me almost getting locked up in Kentucky. Um, the story goes way back in the day. I had to be about 20, 21, 22 or something like that. It was like 2002. I was going to see this girl. I lived in Kentucky. She was my girlfriend at the time, and well, I gotta go a little farther back than that. So I met her back in the day, since I started doing the internet thing back when chat rooms was like a big thing before social media type stuff. So I meet her on Yahoo, become friends, then we get into a relationship and all that long distance type thing. So I decided I'm gonna go see her. So maybe about a week before I'm about to go see her, um, the car that I was driving gets broken into, and so now it's in the shop and it's got to get repaired and stuff. So then I get a rental car, and so I get this rental car. It's like a Toyota Corolla, and I drive that to work because I got paid the day I was going to leave. So I get paid, so I drive up there, get my paycheck, and I get fired the same day. But I didn't really care. And well, what happened? The reason I got fired is because I was a dishwasher, and I was supposed to also clean up the kitchen, and I didn't feel like doing it that day, so I decided not to do it. And then one of the cooks snitched on me, and then they was like, we're gonna have to let you go, yada yada. So anyway, I'm driving from I'm driving from work with my paycheck. I was friends with one of the other chefs, so I got some food too while I was driving back. So I'm eating like um, I'm driving down 70, going home, eating like chicken tenders and stuff like that. Got music blasting, I'm in a rental car. I'm driving faster than normal. I come over this hill, and then it's a cop. And he waves me over. So I was like, okay, I know I'm going faster than normal. I'm not going to try to fight this. I'm just going to accept it. So guy pulls me over, tells me I was speeding, and I guess he didn't really like the way I was handling it because I was like still playing music, jamming and still eating my chicken tenders like like it was no big deal. But so he gives me a ticket. The ticket's like I think it's around like somewhere around $200, something like that. So the ticket takes a couple of weeks before you have to pay it before you get you know it goes on your record and all that stuff. So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna pay this by the time I get back. I'm only gonna be there for like 4 or 5 days. By the time I get back, I can pay for it. Everything will be fine. This takes more money out of my budget that I was gonna use when I was there, but no big deal. So that day, go home, get all my stuff, put the stuff in the car, leave straight. Drive takes 10 hours to get there. Um, I can't remember exactly where. It was near Louisville. She was in Louisville. She was going to school there. So I hop in the car, start driving. This is my first time doing a long trip. I mean, I guess the closest long trip I've done before then was like a 2-hour trip down to Virginia to see my sister. I've never driven over 3 hours, and I damn sure didn't go over 8 hours. So I'm driving. I got music playing. I got a bunch of CDs in my car. They playing on loop, 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 loop. And every once in a while, I switch them out. I know this is probably one of the best drives I've ever had because later on in life, I started driving longer, and it's sucked. But it's like one of the best drives I ever had. I'm having a good time. I'm going, and then every once in a while, I call her, tell her where I'm at. She asks me questions and stuff like that. It's all good. It's a nice drive. It wasn't heavy traffic, none of that stuff. So I'm getting close to the deadline, when I'm supposed to be getting there. And it's late night, it's all dark, and it's a 2-lane highway. I don't remember the name of the highway, the interstate, but I'm on 2 lanes. It might have been the interstate, it might have been a highway. Either way, I'm in 2 lanes, right? And the area I am, it was no such law of you should be in the right hand lane just going, and if you're going to pass somebody, go in the left hand lane. So I didn't know anything about it. So I'm like balling down the left side. I basically didn't learn my lesson, while I was driving home in Baltimore. So I'm like balling down there, and I'm talking to her on the phone. I'm telling her how close I am. I'm like, I was probably like 30 minutes away, something like that, 40 minutes away. So I'm like trying to hurry up and get there before she like falls asleep, something like that, something crazy. I'm moving on fast, driving down the street. I'm driving down the street, and then all of a sudden, I don't know where you just see like a flashlight. It like, it's like pointed ahead of me, and then it like turns on me real quick. So I'm like, what the hell was that? And I'm like telling her on the phone, and she's like, it's probably the cops. So, so me being a dummy, especially since it was nobody else on the road, I pulled over. I sort of like slow down and go over to the other lane. Like, the cops never gonna notice. Oh, like, he saw somebody speeding, but he don't know it's me, type of thing. So I slow down. I'm probably like 5, 10 miles under the speed limit, driving on the right hand lane. Like, oh man, watching my rearview mirror the whole time. Oh man, I hope it's not cop. I hope it's not cop. I hope it's not a cop. Cause I just got a ticket. So then I see like the car pull out of the little, the little sections that's on the roads where the cops pull off. I saw a car pull out and come up behind me, and he was like, maybe like 2 miles behind me, something like that. So I figured, I mean, he might be pulling out, but the no lights are on. I'm still fine. I'm still driving speed limit. I probably should like hit an exit real quick and then jump back on. But um, so the cop comes up behind me, starts like balling up towards me, catches up to me, hits the lights, pulls me over. So I pull over on the side of the road, and he pulls up behind me, and he waits for his backup. Yeah, he sits there for a little bit and waits for his backup. So I'm like, oh man, I'm about to get another ticket. I just got a ticket. I ain't gonna have no money to pay for this ticket. I ain't gonna have no money on this trip. This is gonna suck. So the cop gets out the car. He walks over to my side of the car. I roll down my window. This time I turn down the music. I'm not eating anything. I'm trying to play extra cool so that I could possibly get out of this ticket. So the cop's like, let me get see your license and registration. So I hand him the license. I hand him the little thing for the rental car. Give that to him. And he walks off. I'm sitting in the car and I'm still talking to her on the phone. She's still on the phone with me. And he takes about 10 minutes or something like that. And then he walks back over and he's like, step out of the car, sir. And I'm like, what? Step out of the car, sir. I'm like, okay. So I get out the car. I tell her, like, he told me to get out the car. Hold on real quick. I put the phone down. I didn't even hang up. I just hurried and put the phone down, get out the car. And then he, like, walks me to the back of my trunk. And then he's like, sir, do you have any, what did he say? He said, do you have any weapons in your car? So I'm like, no. And he said, do you have any weapons on you? I don't know. So he starts like patting me down and stuff. I'm like, why am I getting patted down? It's just a speeding ticket. And so he's like, he starts like listing off items that I could have as weapons and stuff. So you got any firearms? You got any knives? You got anything that can poke me? You got a grenade launcher? So he said something like that. So I start laughing. And then you can see like he gets serious because he's like, start patting me down more aggressively. So I'm like, okay, no, I don't have anything. And then he grabs my wrist. And the first thing I do is like pull my hand a little bit. And then he like he gets more aggressive and pulls harder. I'm like, oh man, don't get caught up on no resisting arrest, because this might it might go down, right? So I ease up a little bit. He put the handcuffs around. Put my hands on my back, put the handcuffs on, and I'm like, what's going on? Why am I getting arrested right now? They popped the trunk. They started checking all in it. They started asking me questions about what am I doing, where am I going and stuff. And then I finally like, why am I getting pulled over? I mean, why am I getting arrested? Or at least getting handcuffs on me? 'Cause it's just a speeding ticket, right? Guy tells me your license has been suspended, and I'm like, I start thinking back, like I did just get a ticket, but it's no way that could have suspended my license. It was just yesterday. You know what I'm saying? It was just yesterday. I got that ticket. There's no way my license is suspended. So I'm telling him like, sorry, officer, but there's no way my license is suspended. You should probably check again. So he goes back in the car, checks again. He's like, no, your license is suspended. Goes and puts me in the back of the car. I'm like, come on, officer, you gotta check again. Come on, man. You gotta check again. He checks again. Or he supposedly checks again. Still comes back, my license is suspended. I'm like, come on, man. There's no way. There's no way my license is suspended. I'm trying to bargain with him. Well, I'm not throwing money at him. I'm kind of like trying to get him to really take his time to talk to dispatch and all that stuff. Come on, man. And he's like, whatever. He drives forward, hits that little turn where they could turn around at, and he just starts going. So I was like 30 minutes away from my house. Now I'm getting driven back to the police station, and that was like that was about an hour away. So they put more time on my time. Like I said before, it was my first time driving real far away, and then I get more time put on it. Drive back to the police station. They sit me down in the chair because they wasn't gonna book me yet, and I'm constantly saying in the back car like, come on, man, come on, man. I know my license ain't suspended. So he got tired of it and closed the glass on me. So I'm sitting in the back seat. He pulls me out, sits me in a chair at the station, and it's like another guy there, and he like asks me, and I'm like, I get pulled over because my license is suspended. I forgot what he said, but I'm like having a conversation with the guy next to me, and the cop finally goes and talks to somebody in person about the license. So he goes talks to the guy in person, and then it takes about 20 minutes or so. He comes back, and he's like, I'd like to apologize to you, sir. Your license was suspended. The dispatcher told me the wrong thing. And my heart was like, oh. Because I knew, like, if I would actually got arrested that day, it was the weekend, so I got locked up, and I would have to stay there for the whole weekend, which is most of the time I was going to be there in Kentucky with my girlfriend. And then I would have got out, and I would basically have to drive home or find a way home. I would have to get my car out the impound, which cost me money. I had to pay the ticket. I would have to come back, probably back to Kentucky to do some trial. It was just been ridiculous. So I was like super happy that he was like, no, took the cuffs off me, hop back in the car. They drive me. That when they took me away from my car, they automatically called a tow truck. So the tow truck was taking my car to the impound, and might have got there, I don't know. So then they had to get the tow truck to drop my car off, and they dropped me off. And so they couldn't like just drop me off on the highway. They took me farther away, even farther away, to some like a Target or something. Dropped me off in the dropped me off in the parking lot. They dropped the car off, and then like the chief shows up. And well, not the chief, but like the guy in charge, probably like a lieutenant or something like that. And he's like apologizing, like, I'm sorry, it was a mistake, and saying all that stuff. And I'm like, man, if I was that type of guy, man, I could just like, I'm gonna sue all y'all because it was just white guys. So I'm, this was racial profiling, and I'm suing everybody, and you gonna hear it from my lawyer and all this stuff. But I was like, nah, I don't have to pay no ticket. I get to make it to make it to see my girlfriend. I don't freaking care. And basically at the end, the cop that pulled me over, he was like, I should just give you. He basically like seemed like he just lost one. He's like, I should just give you that ticket. And they just told me to get up in my car, pointed me on the right direction to the highway. Cause this was before GPS was jumping off. So I had my MapQuest paper written out, all my directions written down. So I had to follow those directions. So they pointed me to the highway. I hopped on the highway and went on my way. But man, that was a crazy night. I almost got your boy almost got locked up. That's almost got locked up.